Welcome to our channel where we delve into the darkest corners of reality. Tonight we bring you 4 spine-chilling true gas station horror stories. Stories whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to face the darkness. Turn off the lights, sit back and prepare to be terrified. Our first story takes us down a desolate highway where the silence of the night is broken only by the hum of tires on asphalt. Imagine a young woman named Sarah driving home alone after a late shift at work. Exhaustion tugged at her eyelids, the miles stretching out before her like an unfurling ribbon of darkness. She glanced at her fuel gauge, the needle hovering precariously close to empty. A shiver ran down her spine. She knew she wouldn't make it home without stopping for gas. A lone gas station materialized out of the darkness, its flickering fluorescent lights casting long, grotesque shadows. Relief, tinged with unease, washed over Sarah as she pulled up to the pump. She tried to shake off the unsettling feeling that something was watching her. Stepping out of her car, she was greeted by an eerie silence. A figure emerged from the shadows, a man cloaked in darkness. Mysterious stranger, as mysterious stranger. Need some help with that little lady? Sarah's grip tightened on her keys, her heart pounding. Traveler, as Sarah. No, thank you, I can manage. Our next tale takes us to the legendary Route 66, a ribbon of asphalt that winds its way through the heart of America, connecting the bustling cities to the quiet, forgotten corners of the country. Beneath the nostalgic veneer lies a darkness, a shadowy past that many travelers are unaware of. This historic route is steeped in tragedy and whispered tales of the supernatural, stories that have been passed down through generations. Along this iconic highway, nestled among the ghost towns and roadside attractions, are places that seem frozen in time. One such place is a lonely gas station, standing as a silent witness to the passage of time. Locals whisper tales of a tragic accident that occurred there decades ago, an event that left an indelible mark on the community. It was a fiery crash that claimed the life of a young gas station attendant named Billy, a promising young man with dreams and aspirations. They say that Billy's spirit, unable to find peace, remained tethered to the site of his untimely demise, forever haunting the place where he met his tragic end. Travelers passing through late at night have reported strange occurrences, unexplained noises that send shivers down their spines, and fleeting glimpses of a spectral figure, a shadowy presence that vanishes as quickly as it appears. One sweltering summer night, a group of friends decided to test the legend of the haunted gas station, driven by curiosity and a sense of adventure. They pulled up to the pumps, their laughter echoing through the stillness of the night, unaware of the eerie encounter that awaited them. As they stepped out of the car, they were greeted by an oppressive silence. The temperature plummeted, a chill that seemed to seep into their very bones, and a sense of dread washed over them, an inexplicable feeling that something was terribly wrong. One of the friends, a skeptical young man named Jake, decided to investigate, determined to prove that the ghost stories were nothing more than local folklore. Armed with a flashlight, he cautiously approached the service bay, each step echoing in the stillness of the night. The beam of his flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing the decaying remnants of the once bustling station. Teenager, as Jake. "Hello? Is anyone there?" His voice trembled slightly, the words hanging in the air. Suddenly the figure turned towards him, its eyes glowing with an eerie, otherworldly light that seemed to pierce through the darkness. Panicked, Jake stumbled back, his heart racing as he tried to make sense of what he was seeing. Dropping his flashlight, he turned and ran, his footsteps pounding against the pavement as he fled the haunted site. As they sped away, they could see a figure standing in the middle of the road, a silent sentinel bathed in the eerie glow of the station's lights. The friends never spoke of that night again, but the legend of Billy's ghost continues to haunt the lonely stretch of Route 66, a chilling reminder of the past that refuses to be forgotten. Chapter 3. Where did he go? Our next story takes place on a dark and stormy night, the kind of night where shadows seem to come alive and every sound is amplified by the howling wind. Rain lashed against the windows of a lonely gas station, creating a symphony of chaos as a young woman named Emily pulled up to the pumps. She had been driving for hours, her eyes heavy with fatigue, eager to reach her destination. But the storm had other plans, forcing her to seek shelter. As she climbed out of her car, the wind tore at her clothes, making every step a struggle against nature's fury. She hurried inside the gas station, seeking refuge from the elements, her heart pounding from the exertion and the eerie atmosphere. The gas station was deserted, the only sound the incessant drumming of rain on the roof, creating an almost hypnotic rhythm. Emily approached the counter, her eyes scanning the empty aisles, the flickering fluorescent lights casting unsettling shadows. Just as she was about to call out, a figure emerged from the back room, startling her. Gas station attendant as gas station attendant. Rough night out there. It was the gas station attendant, an elderly man with a kind face and weary eyes, his presence both comforting and mysterious. Traveler, as Emily. You could say that again. I'm just glad to be out of the rain. As the attendant helped her with her purchase, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, a nagging sensation at the back of her mind. As Emily turned to leave, she glanced back at the counter, expecting to see the attendant watching her go, but something felt off. But to her astonishment, he was gone, vanished as if he had never been there. Emily called out to the attendant, her voice echoing through the empty gas station, the silence that followed almost deafening. Traveler, as Emily, hello, are you there? Her voice trembled with a mix of fear and confusion, the storm outside now seeming like a distant threat compared to the mystery unfolding inside. She walked through the aisles, her footsteps echoing, searching for any sign of the attendant, but the gas station remained eerily silent. There was no trace of him, no indication that anyone had been there at all, leaving Emily to wonder if she had imagined the entire encounter. With a final, hesitant glance around, Emily stepped back into the storm, her mind racing with unanswered questions and a sense of unease that would linger long after she drove away. Chapter 4, Don't Look in the Back Seat. Our final tale takes us to a small town where time seems to move a little slower. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and the streets are deserted by 9 p.m. In the heart of this seemingly idyllic town stood a solitary gas station, its neon sign casting a lurid glow over the quiet streets. The gas station was a relic from another era, with its peeling paint and flickering lights. Mark, a young man fresh out of high school, had recently started working the graveyard shift at the gas station. He took the job to save up for college, but also to escape the monotony of his small-town life. He had always been a bit of a loner, content in his own company. His friends had moved away, leaving him behind with only his thoughts for companionship. The first few nights passed without incident, the silence broken only by the occasional rumble of a passing truck. Mark found solace in the quiet, using the time to read or listen to music. But as the days turned into weeks, a sense of unease began to creep into Mark's nightly routine. The once comforting silence now felt oppressive, and the shadows seemed to grow longer and darker. It started with small things, a feeling of being watched, the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty aisles. Mark would often look up from his book, convinced he wasn't alone. He would catch fleeting glimpses of movement out of the corner of his eye, shadows that seemed to dart away just as he turned his head. One night, as he was restocking shelves, he heard a soft knock on the window behind him. The sound was so faint he almost thought he imagined it. He spun around, his heart racing, but there was no one there. The empty parking lot stared back at him, silent and still. Later that same night, as he was preparing to close up, he noticed a car parked at the edge of the lot. It was an old beat-up sedan, the kind that had seen better days. He couldn't make out the occupants inside. The windows were tinted, and the interior was shrouded in darkness. Mark watched the car for a while, his unease growing with each passing moment. He felt a chill run down his spine, as if the car itself was watching him. He decided to approach the car cautiously. Each step felt heavier than the last, his breath coming in shallow gasps. As he drew closer, he could have sworn he saw a figure in the back seat, a shadowy silhouette that seemed to shift and move. Just then, the car's headlights flickered to life, blinding Mark in a sudden blaze of white light. He raised his hand to shield his eyes, his heart pounding in his chest. When he could see clearly again, the car was gone. It had vanished into the night, leaving no trace behind. Mark stood there, alone in the darkness, wondering if he had imagined the whole thing. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. We've explored the dark side of the open road, but there are countless other stories out there waiting to be told. Stories whispered in the shadows, stories that remind us that even in the most mundane of places, darkness can lurk. And remember, the next time you stop for gas, you might not be alone. Stay safe and stay scared.